Hi Santosh, how are you?
Hey, hi Avi. I'm good. Good to see you after a long time.
Yeah,
How
I
are
know
you?
it's been hectic in your side, so thank you for the time for joining the channel. I know you're working really really hard. I know it's a really,
Yeah,
really yeah. So thank you for the time.
yeah.
Um,
It's my
you,
pleasure talking to you after a long time, Avi.
yeah, we've been like back and forth for a while now, but it's happening. So I think the audience for the HR School YouTube channel are really waiting for this. This is the third episode. And we're going to be and we're going to be deep diving into the tech this time. So I know a lot of my followers are from the tech industry, and I think that India is one of the most interesting and uh, um, fascinating areas in the world in tech at this point, especially once we'll be in recession. It's even more interesting to see how the recession is behaving and the inside, because it's behaving totally different than the rest of the world, right? It's very very bubbly over there and very very hectic. But a second before we start the episode, I want you please to present yourself and share with us, who are you, Santosh?
Oh, hi. Say, I'm Santosh, as Avi said. So me and Avi, we know each other for a decade for now. I think
Hmm.
we work together in Cisco,
Yeah.
and yeah. So I know Avi for more than a decade. He's a good human being. We had a couple of good conversations in the past. So I have been in the tech industry for more than 17 years, and most of my career of late, I'm working on more infrastructure side, setting up cloud infrastructure, setting up DevOps or DevSecOps practice, and then setting up office networks, office security, and working closely on the PCI DSS compliance, SOC 2 compliance, making sure that the engineering practices are safe and secured from all aspects of the business.
So if you wanted someone from the tech point of the business in India, you're definitely going to be the guy to call, right? Like you know exactly how tech behaves in India.
Yes, I have been doing it for more than 6, 7 years, setting up offices in India across the globe. And I also have experience working with the local laws and making sure that based on the need of the business, the setup, the office setup or the infrastructure setup is complete enough. So that it is legally bound to the local laws and working as directed by the local governments.
Cool. So I think the first question that I have, or our viewers will have, is can you tell us in general about the Indian culture? What can we learn and know about the Indian culture at this point in a general way, not necessarily based on the tech angle?
That's a great question. Indian culture, right? So,
Yeah.
being an Indian, that's a great question to answer, I would say. See, Indian culture is ancient, it's rich and complex. If you look at our culture, it is more inclusive and diversified than
Hmm.
any other culture. Our
Hmm.
culture is evolving and changing, but yet it remains true to its core values, which are
Hmm.
inclusiveness, respect, tolerance, and diversity.
Hmm.
Whether it is tech or whether it is any other business setup in India, you would see these core values.
Hmm.
So it's not that we just have population which can attract organizations or businesses to start in India. It's our culture which enables anybody who is not an Indian to do something in India. We are more inclusive, we are more tolerant, and we are more diversified. That makes our culture unique and rich, which attracts people to start their business or R&D center or any kind of business activities in India.
Interesting. So, because one of the, I think, hottest topics at this point in HR, at this point globally, is inclusive and diversity. And I think I won't say it's a new idea, but it's definitely not an old one in my profession, because we're working on it really hard. Can you tell us a bit on the inclusive part? What exactly in the Indian culture is so important once you go to inclusive and diversity? I find it really, really interesting.
Okay, so when you want to look at, or when you start looking at any culture, right? When I say inclusiveness in India, we have space for everybody who has a specific perception of human life. For example, people who are religious, they have their own religious practices. India respects every religion or every belief a person has to
Yeah,
the core, so that they feel that they are not left out, or they are not treated separately in this
yeah,
nation.
yeah,
So we have space for every I mean every opinion or every belief one has, irrespective of the irrespective of the location on the earth they belong to,
yeah,
whether they believe in the practices which are followed in the eastern part of the world or western part of the world. It doesn't matter. We have a culture which can accommodate any such practice or any such belief.
interesting. Let's talk about tech in India. On the previous episodes, one of the things that were like, discussed is that the fact that India, it's a huge country, right? It's the most populated kingdom in the world that has to push all kind of, tech because of the size of the subcontinent itself. And one of the things that was said there, discussed, that digitization is a mandatory aspect, because if you won't go there and you'll go for the aspect of physical, forms, whatever, it's huge. You have like 1.35 billion individuals that you need to, so digitization is a must.
Correct.
Can you tell us about tech in India, how it's, anything that we can learn about tech in India and how it's, drives, how it behaves, what are the dimensions in tech, and what is the, the main dictation that tech is, focusing in India at this point?
Okay, so if I have to take your question in a different perception,
Yeah,
let me tell you a few innovations that happened in India. Okay, so basically, if you look at the tech industry in last 2 to 3 decades, the majority of the innovations they have had significant stake from the Indians.
yeah,
And it's not that people who relocate from India do it, but people within India are doing it. For
mhm,
example, you take UPI.
mhm,
UPI is a big success across the globe. There
mhm.
are many countries on the globe till today, they don't have a digital way of making small payments. But India is a success story. Even today, a small shopkeeper in India who doesn't do a business of more than, maybe I would say, $30 to $40 a day,
Yeah,
can accept payments through digital
wow,
right?
amazing.
It's a big change in in the Indian uh, technology, I would say, in last 2 decades.
Wow,
First, people got used to use the mobile. Then people got comfortable using the UPI, right? It is both. It's the ease of using, and second is the trust.
yeah,
So somebody has to trust that they got the money, or somebody else has transferred the money, right?
yeah,
So all these things have evolved in last 2 decades. So
wow.
technologies has been playing a significant role in building or in connecting people in India over last 2 to 3 decades. There have
So
been a lot of innovations which enabled this.
I've heard the story. You need to say it's like not true, or yeah, that's the reality in India, because I found it like amazing. I heard that homeless people in India have a QR code to get donation, and I've said to
Correct.
myself, is it true? That's the
Yes.
reality. That's
There, are-
amazing.
there, there are NGOs who help them. There are
Yeah,
NGOs who help them, especially people who are homeless,
yeah,
who struggle to survive
yeah,
for their daily food and daily routines.
yeah.
There are NGOs who help them to collect the funds or collect the donations, and then the NGOs help them to encash them and spend them as they need. So
Amazing.
it's not. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's not true. It's true.
Wow, it's amazing. I
Yeah.
thought it's a fiction because
Yeah.
wow, that's amazing. This means that digitization is relevant for everyone in India. Like everyone is part of the that's change. Like everyone is part of the amazing.
Yeah,
Let's talk about
absolutely. For example, if you look at the roadside vendors who
Mhm.
are small business people, as I said, they spend $30 to $40.
Yeah,
It's not necessary that they are well educated or they have enough banking knowledge,
yeah,
right? All they get is a device with a QR code,
yeah,
and it has a speaker which can tell I mean which has a voice message
yeah.
which will play once the amount is credited to their account. So
Amazing.
it can broadcast the message in their local language. For example, as India is a big country, we call India is a nation
Yeah,
and of subnations. So
yeah,
every state is unique in India.
yeah, yeah.
Every state you can feel that it's different from the other with
Hmm.
respect to food habits, culture, the way people live, the way people practice their
Yeah.
daily routines and all. Right. So these devices are capable enough to play the message in their local language. So
Amazing.
one need not to know English, or one need not to know any particular language. They can tune it in their language that they are comfortable, and the message will tell them that they have received the money in their account,
Amazing.
which is a significant change or significant improvement in this country in last decade.
This is going to be, from my point of view, the highlight of the post or this. I don't think I've met like a place in the world where, you're getting donations with QR code. It's amazing from my point of view. Let's talk about India in general on the last 10 to 15 years. I know that India is undergoing a lot of changes, culturally wise, tech. The West is, I don't think there's even one big brand in big tech companies that doesn't have at least one hub, at least one in India, mostly more than one. Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, everyone is there. Can you share with us the changes that the Indian culture is undergoing in the last 10 years?
Sure. So maybe last 10 years is a small amount of time, I would
Yeah,
say. Because
15. Okay.
the entire tech in India has evolved over the last 2 to 3 decades, and there are significant improvements in every decade. For example, if I have to talk about the initial computing days, where
Yeah.
people started using their personal computers and all, then
Mhm.
moving on to mobiles, moving
Mhm.
on to the smartphones, right? So every decade has its own significant impression on the people of India through technology. For example, now every organization says we want to go mobile first.
Mhm.
So anything that they want to do, they make sure that they have a mobile app or they have a mobile web,
Mhm.
which will help them to make their business easy to acquire customers. Right?
Mhm.
So there are multiple changes. So if you look at what basically enabled it, so there have been a lot of significant changes in last 2 to 3 decades. One is infrastructure. There have been huge investments in this sector, which has improved the road, rail, and air connectivity across India.
Mhm.
What does it mean to invest a lot of a lot of money or a lot of time on infrastructure, right? It enabled to connect the cities from all the corners of the nation, right? That enabled people to mobilize, that enabled people to easily access what's there or what they need in the other corner of the country. So infrastructure has been significantly improved, and it is still evolving in India. The next would be education. There have
Mhm.
been huge investments. See, being a highly populated country in the world today, we had challenges fighting illiteracy, right?
Mhm.
So it has been a primary agenda or primary motto of every state government and the central government to invest a lot of time and a lot of potential energy in education system to improve the literacy rate of the country,
Mm-hmm.
which again enabled our country to be more, what you call, more adaptive to the changes that are happening across the globe.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
this sector, education sector, has made a significant progress in improving the literacy, producing graduates across multiple fields like technology, medicine, law, financial services, business management, nursing, so many things.
Mm.
And this also opened up channels for people to migrate to other countries where there is potential need for human power. For
Mm-hmm.
example, there are a lot of nursing students who migrate to the Western countries
All right.
where they have better opportunities to work. I'm
Mm.
sure you see a lot of nurses in Israel as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
are from
Yeah.
Indian origin,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I didn't know
And
that. I didn't know that it came from, the investment of the governments to, in education. I thought it's like interesting.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. And in the last 10 years, India's growth has been consistent, and it has been consistently 8% year over year. Irrespective of the global financial crisis,
Yeah.
we have been significantly consistent, and
Yeah.
our growth has been around 8%, which
Yeah.
is another important thing to boost the economy of the country and boost the confidence of people that we are doing good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now, as I said, we are world's largest populated country. Urbanization has also increased in last 2 to 3 decades. Now,
Yeah.
more people are migrating to the major cities or major towns for employment, for higher education,
Yeah.
or any other business opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the significant changes that have happened in India in last 2 to 3 decades, which makes it look a different country than what it was a three
Amazing.
decades.
Amazing. And I think we can see it in the global, arena as well. Like this year, India became the fifth biggest economy in the world, like bigger
Correct.
than the UK, which is huge as well. It's amazing. The progress and the changes are really, I think, mind blowing. Which is no surprise, by the way, that everyone wants to get a piece of that pie, right? Like not only the big tech. A lot of, from my point of view, in Israel, a lot of this the entire series of chapters in the YouTube channel came from a conversation I had with an entrepreneur. He's opening a hub in Israel, and he said, "Wait a minute, I need a lot of workforce, not like only 10, 20. I'm going to be a big thing, and money is an issue. One, second, I need English, native individuals." Also, I need a high level of education. I need engineers that understand engineers really good, and I want to have like a full coverage. And he talked with me, and he told me what are the options that myself, as as a startup, for a global population to have. Immediately, I told him, "Listen, India. India is one of the fascinating places in the world. You have like English there. You have like great universities. You have." I said, "How do I start? Like I'm in Israel. I want to conquer the world. I want my product to be like worldwide spread. Where should I start as an entrepreneur to opening the first site, the first hub in India? What are the first places?" And I think he was asking me mostly from the side of the tech, like so. And obviously, you're like a tech leader, a very very senior one. What are the if you were in my shoes, what would you recommend him to start with? Like, what are the first steps?
That's a great question, Abhi. Basically, it's both easy and challenging to open a site or
Yeah,
R&D center in India for several reasons. See, it's easy as there are multiple cities in India where skilled IT professionals are easy to find. For example, Bangalore, which we call Silicon Valley of India,
yeah,
has, has good potential to accommodate any kind of startup across the globe, as unique as AI, ML, or as unique as any emerging technology, right? Whether it is crypto, AI, ML, or anything that you name, which
yeah.
is a cutting edge technology in the world, we will find skilled laborers.
Mm-hmm.
And Bangalore is not only the city in India. There are
Mm-hmm.
cities like Hyderabad, there are cities like Chennai, Pune, and in the north we have Noida, Gurgaon, right? These all are the cities where you will find skilled IT professionals, and they're easy to find.
Yeah.
Right? But every city is unique. That's why I said it is challenging. Every
Okay.
city is unique. In Bangalore, you may find any talent that you need, but other cities, it may not be that easy. For example, if I look at a particular skill, it may be difficult to find in a particular city.
Yeah.
Right. But if I know that this is the R&D that I'm going to do for my startup,
Yeah.
then one has to be choosy among all these cities, and they can start exploring.
Okay.
But irrespective of which city one chooses, they definitely need to partner with local HR firms.
Yeah.
They need to build a tech brand. They need to attract talent with unique offerings and etc. Why I would say that, right? See, for a person who has multiple challenges, multiple options, or multiple opportunities, he or she would definitely choose which offers unique benefits to one, right?
Competition, right? Because you have a lot of
Yes.
options in Bangalore,
Yes.
for example, a lot of big tech. So you need to think what is the proposition what is the value that you're, suggesting to your candidate, to your talent.
Correct. So I mean, people generally look at work-life balance. People look at, am I working on the cutting-edge technology? And people look at the cash benefits, the other benefits from the company. But there are a few other aspects that one would look at if he or she given multiple opportunities. So
Yeah.
this is where one need to be very cautious. And what is the unique benefit that they are going to offer to the candidates, especially if they are keen on hiring a particular talent, right? My suggestion would be one need to understand the laws and regulations of governing the business in India.
Yeah.
Then properly select a city, assess the local pay and other benefits in the similar domain, right? Invest in both. They need to invest in both online and offline marketing. Okay. See, online marketing will help them to easily reach the tech talent.
Yeah.
Offline marketing would help them to become more famous in that particular city or in the particular region
Yeah.
that want to set it up. Right.
Is there a place that you recommend for those individuals to see where on the Indian geographic area I can find which kind of talent, or the only way is to just connect with a local hub of HR, and is there like something that the government help for foreigners to understand, like if you a map, I don't know, Bangalore is tech, Delhi is finance, whatever. Is there like a place that we can go and read on that?
There are multiple ways of looking. I think local HR firms, they do have this data upfront, and it's openly available in the market.
Yeah.
There are multiple websites which can provide this, and LinkedIn also has this data.
Okay.
Right. And especially for people who wants to come and invest in India, right? Especially in the R&D or tech.
Yeah.
Every state government, as I said, every state is a small country in India. The state government would give you all these details, all the data that is required to make a decision.
Okay.
They will assist with the information about what kind of talent I have in Bangalore versus what kind of talent I have in Hyderabad.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about innovation. After 17 years in HR and a lot of years out of those in tech, I've learned that each culture is innovating in a very, very different way. I know that the Israelis are innovating in one way, France are doing it totally different. Let's talk about innovation in India. How does that happening in the Indian culture? How do you innovate?
Sure. So earlier we talked about what has changed in India last
Yeah.
2 to 3 decades, right? So as I mentioned, Indian education system is evolving, and the curriculum is updated to match the latest needs of the tech industry, which is helping in bringing the gap in bridging the gap between need of the hour as more and more graduates getting trained on basics. Right. So we are evolving. We are investing more and more in renovating our education. We are making sure that the graduates are getting getting what it takes for one to be ready to be more productive on their job at the earliest. So our universities, our colleges, whether it is government or private, they're working towards this. So which is helping us to bridge the gap between actual education versus what's needed actually on the job. Right?
Okay.
India also has a strong culture of entrepreneurship, which lead to number of successful tech startups in India. Okay. Also, India is a huge and growing market which encourages innovation in the tech industry. Take any, for example, this UPI, right? If you look at the basic idea, there are multiple players in India who support this digital payments. Most of these ideas, they were bootstrapped, or they were formulated when people were people were having their higher education. Right? There are multiple things which got innovated where people saw a need on their day-to-day life. See, for example, India is a tea-loving country.
Yeah.
Earlier, if I need to have a good tea, I might have to go for a walk for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Or I might have to go out to that particular vendor and have a tea. But now there are a lot of startups in this sector where they can customize and they can deliver it to my desk.
Tea.
You need not to
To your desk, a cup of tea.
yeah,
Really?
cup of tea to my desk.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So, this is one example. And then there are a lot of food chains that came up with this unique idea. Now there are big tech giants which do this online food delivery, right? And all this is innovated. I mean, I would say this innovation came from the need of what people were looking for. So this innovation, I would say, is because of the needs that we had at that point in time. At the same time, we have had opportunity to adopt which was missing in our day-to-day life. We adopted few from the the Western culture, and we did Indianized that, and we started adopting. We started, evolving around the idea and building our own,
making it your own.
Yeah.
Amazing.
See, if I have to give few examples apart from UPI, as I said, UPI is a big success, right? Now there are, there are a lot of startups in India which are working on B2B payment, B2C payment. Now, even a small business, for example, my cousin, he has a small home improvement business. What he did, he launched his own website. Now, his first question was how to accept the payments, right? So he needed a payment gateway. There are multiple players in India where they gave competitive quotations to him when initially he wanted to integrate with one of them.
Yeah.
Just imagine a small business with less than 10 people working for him. They got a payment gateway without going to anywhere, just doing a KYC online. They got an RBI approved payment gateway to accept the payments into their accounts.
Amazing.
Right. Yeah. And there are a lot of startups in B2B, B2C and all. And e-commerce has evolved a lot in India. Now every other business, they become online. One need not to visit a store. One need not to go to a particular area or particular location or a particular city. They have everything in front of them through, thanks to e-commerce, which has improved a lot in India.
Yeah.
Right. And if I go on, there are startups which are on AI, ML. There are startups on IoT. These IoT innovations are helping our Indian farmers. Again, as I said, the innovation of IoT devices in agriculture, they were need of the hour because there were, as urbanization has grown, even in the rural area, we had challenges with human power.
Of course.
IoT has helped us to procure or to innovate devices which will help the farmers to make sure that everything is done on time.
So it's basically, if I'm taking all the amazing ideas that's emerged in India, it's based on an actual need that there's I heard someone said once, everything that was like worthwhile was invested already, and everyone left. And it's taking an idea it's taking, sorry, a need that is already there, and thinking on how technology slash marketing slash online slash finance will solve that. And then you take the entrepreneur spice, the Indian entrepreneur spice of and that you see it on the schools, and you get like an amazing ideas and businesses that are merging all over in India.
Correct,
Amazing.
correct. So
Thank
you take anything from your morning need to till you go to bed, right?
Yeah,
From ordering vegetables, right?
yeah,
Then having a cup of tea or coffee,
yeah,
then having breakfast, then booking a cab, going to your office, having
yeah.
a lunch, coming back, booking a cab or personal vehicle, then coming back home and ordering a dinner. Everything had scope.
Getting donations, everything.
Yeah,
Amazing.
everything had a scope for innovation. Everything has a scope for customization of one's needs.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so let's say that I'm into it. I want to open a hub in India. And now I want to ask myself which areas of my business I'm going to outsource to India. Are you recommending specific professions to be outsourced because it's going to be easier to find in India? And are there going to be professions that are going to be more challenging for businesses to find in India rather than, for example, when I was working for Align Technology, it's a medical device in the dental area. We knew that the place that has the highest population of schools for dentists in the world is Costa Rica, about 7,000 schools for dentists. So we opened a hub there for the clinical needs, and we also knew, based on market research, that the highest outcome for aesthetical treatments is in Brazil. So we knew this is a market that we will surely want to be landing there. So my question is there a specific superpower, or super talent that we can find in India that is going to be easier based on the presumption that we're going to be having, competition, right? Because talents comes with competition. And are
Correct.
there areas that you say India is not the best to go?
Okay. See, it's tough to choose one city. After this
Yeah,
urbanization, people started migrating from one city to the other city, from north to south, or east to south, or south
yeah,
to north, or middle India, where we have our financial capital, right?
yeah,
Mumbai. But maybe your question would have been more appropriate if it was a decade and a half back.
yeah.
Now, every city has every kind of talent. I can find a good doctor in Mumbai as well as a good doctor in Bangalore.
Okay.
I need not to travel from Bangalore to Mumbai unless it is a specific treatment
Yeah.
in Bangalore to get cured or to
Yeah.
get treated. Right.
Okay.
So I won't say that there is no superpower city as such in India if you look at multiple aspects of the business.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from tech perspective, right? Tech perspective, I would say Bangalore is still the top city in India where you can get everything or anything with respect to the human resources.
Okay. Cool.
But other areas, every city, every state capital is unique, and their offerings are unique, and
Yeah.
we everything in every other state capital.
Amazing. Okay. Last thing that I think will be interesting for us to hear is, once you have a culture meeting, you have like culture gaps, right? I think it's given, like it's basic. Once you meet like two cultures, I remember again working at the line, we had an Israeli manager. I came with him. We dropped into China, which is very, very has a very, very specific way on to go on, working with, senior management. And the manager asked an employee, an engineer, in front of his manager, which is Chinese as well, what do you think on your manager? Which is very, very Israeli thing to do. And the Chinese employee had his senior manager, Israeli, less senior manager, and he just froze and he couldn't answer anything. And I was just laughing and told the manager, listen, very, very bad question to ask in that kind of setting. Let's let Alex explain, and then I disassemble the potential bomb that's going to be. So, can you share with me all kind of lost in translation of things that we need to know about mistakes that we can potentially do working with Indian cultures? In general, I don't know, not necessarily based on Israeli Indian, but in general, what should we know, and what kind of potential mistakes can we do working with Indian culture?
I would say, as I said, as we accommodate we are inclusive to all other practices or cultures across the globe, we don't find these things weird. Somebody asking, I mean, an engineer in front of
Yeah,
him, what do you think about your manager is quite common. I
yeah,
mean, to be specific to that question that you
yeah,
asked, but people, as I said, people come from different parts of India. So, as I said, India is a nation of small nations.
yeah,
So a few locations, example, for example, if people are migrating from a small state to a small city to Bangalore,
yeah,
they may be a little bit introverts at the beginning of their career, and till they figure out what's good,
yeah,
or what's the best way to survive in this city, they may
mhm,
be a little reserved, right?
yeah,
Apart from that, I won't see, with respect to people, as long as one respects their habits, culture,
yeah.
food habits, the way they move on with the people, there won't be any specific challenge that one need to know. It's the
Okay.
basic respect towards their lifestyle,
Yeah,
toward their dressing, towards their outfit, towards their food habits, right?
yeah,
As I said, in India, now the world is moving to vegan, right? But in India, vegan is age-old practice.
yeah,
People have faith in eating a vegan food.
yeah,
So, as long as these things are respected, I don't see any particular challenge that would pose in an entrepreneur to set up a center, or to be more cautious. Hey, am I
yeah,
doing a mistake, or am I going on the right way? I wouldn't say there are specific challenges, as long as these basic human
yeah.
aspects are
The
respected.
basic, be a good human being, and it will be
Yes,
okay.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Santosh, this was very, very educative. I've learned a lot. At least two things that I wrote to myself are going to be on the post that I'm going to be sharing. First, about the QR code for donations. I was like a bit shocked, and the cup of tea that comes to your table as an as an innovation aspect. Wow, that's amazing. Really amazing. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed as much as I have. And we'll be in touch, and we're going to be sharing this recording really, really soon. So thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Avi. Nice talking to you after a long time. Keep
You
in
too.
touch. Have a
I
good
will.
day. Bye.
Bye.